Why the audio better.
No, no, I didn't mean it like that. Okay.
Did you?
The cowbell is ringing. We need to move from you, Brian. Can you give us a couple of
That was pretty good, right?
That was awesome. That was an awesome move. Thank you all for joining us, and welcome to Social Media Cons with the Lepers of Comedy. Tonight we have Brian Ross. I hope we'll have Casey Judson soon, and me, Trisha Shores. So we are going to, and we are actually recording, and this may make it to YouTube. Sometimes I try to upload these and it says they're too long, even though they're not that long. So I'm not really sure what's up with that, but we'll probably keep things to under 1 hour tonight. And Brian Ross is joining us from another planet. Can you tell us a little bit about that planet?
Well, I smoked some DMT earlier, and I'm sailing out into the cosmos. That is a drug that Joe Rogan promotes heavily during his comedy, and I've never done it myself, but I know other people that have. And the one unifying hallucination that all of them have is they say that they are sailing through space, watching planets and stars go by as they're cruising.
Wow.
So it's an off-planet experience.
Okay.
This is my key. Uh,
Um,
anyway,
I did not. I heard of that. You know where I heard of that drug, and I'm not at all familiar with it myself. But where I heard about it was in a JP Sears video. I think the one where he talks about people leaving California for Texas, and he talks about that, and it was Joe Rogan. Is that right?
yeah,
I don't watch
yeah,
Joe Rogan. And what?
he's all about DMT, and you take it by smoking it like methamphetamine, and so like he does certain drugs but not others, like, and especially when it comes to cigarettes, boy, he will make so walk a person right out of a comedy show if they're a cigarette smoker because he hates cigarette smokers. But it's cool to
Wow.
smoke weed. You can smoke DMT, but you can't smoke meth. You could take it, but you can't huff gas. He's worse than a drug elitist. Like, really, I'm taking drugs. I'm not really worried about my health at that point.
Well, different drugs affect people differently. And I personally think that no drugs should be outlawed. And, the drugs are from the uh, medical industrial complex. I mean, only the doctors can prescribe them. And if anybody starts competing with doctors, then, they get arrested and thrown in jail, which, whether or not they've done an actual crime just for the drug itself. I don't like it when people are
Right.
really judgy about that kind of thing.
I mean, I believe that people should have to do what they want, but I also believe that if you do, just like alcohol, you can't, if you kill someone when you're drunk driving, you can't use that as an excuse.
That's right.
You got to take all the repercussions just like the rewards.
Absolutely. That's an important, yes, very important. The
And pretty much
responsibility.
all of them have been discovered by pharmaceutical scientists and then somehow slipped out to the regular public. Meth, for instance, they call it Nazi marching powder, but really it originated in Japan. And
Hmm.
so, like, they would give the what was those kamikaze pilots, they'd get them all sprung out because that was a pretty long flight from Japan to uh, Hawaii. So by the time they get there, they're pretty well whacked And I don't think half of them really meant to kill themselves. They just couldn't figure out how to get the bombs to drop. Ended up pulling out too soon.
Oh,
So yeah,
wow.
kamikaze super soldiers was like, yeah, okay, we'll call it that. But really, they were just fucked up and made a mistake. But
So they were on drugs when they were doing that. That's interesting.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But you'd have
So
to be. I
unless you
mean,
got a soul suicider, you can't really say, ah, the dude meant to do that, you know.
yeah. Right, right, right. Wow.
So what is going on with our world, Patricia?
Hey, I spent my birthday in Mexico going to the
We
dentist.
know, we
We
saw the
know,
video.
we saw. Here's our question. Now, I lived in San Diego. We used to go to Mexico all the time. I love
Wow.
Mexico. It's a
Wow.
great place, but you're obviously aware of some of the dangers. But for someone that's never been there before to go, hey, I want to go experience one of the world's most horrific experiences, which is dental pain, and to go in this country, like that's got to be way cheaper, though, right?
Uh yeah, the dental stuff, it is. It is cheaper. Yes. We got yeah, it's a lot cheaper. And one of my sons needs a wisdom teeth out. And he couldn't find anybody here that would do it without requiring a COVID test to get wisdom teeth.
Really?
That
Yeah,
is ridiculous.
it's
You're
absolutely
not
nuts.
kidding.
And he was supposed to have a consultation with an oral surgeon and all. But I think we found an alternative. I hope so. I'm crossing my fingers. It seems that we have. And no COVID test required. That's incredible. And one of the oral surgeons said that the COVID test was required like right before surgery. So like you don't even know the results of it until after surgery. It just doesn't make
Right.
any sense. But yeah, they're really pushing
And
that
why,
density thing.
if it's a genetic marker of what's going into your cells, so that would mean it was all through your entire body distribution.
Yeah.
Why do they have to do this thing about making it so painful and ugly and awkward? This should be in my saliva. It should
Mhm.
be, if you do a DNA test, they do a swab in your mouth or each a swab in your thing. Why do they have to? I don't trust all medical personnel to not push too far, because the difference between your brain sac and your sinus cavity is just a membrane. You know, I
Yes.
don't want I don't want to poke in my melon with it. And so, or they could do a blood test. Why not that?
Yes. Yes. Why not? Why not? And if you can catch this by singing, and that's why they don't allow churches to sing and have choirs, then why can't you just sing onto the swab?
Catch
You
on
know?
breath. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
If it's that
Breathe.
contagious.
Yeah. Well, I think that this whole COVID lie hoax, it's not a hoax. A hoax connotates like a sort of a non malevolent prank. A hoax is like a joke you're playing on a bunch of people,
Mm.
but you have co conspirators in the hoax. But it's not really, the word kind of brings up the idea that it's more of a friendly thing, whereas
Mm.
conspiracy is an evil plot. So it's COVID conspiracy.
Yeah,
These just
right.
straight up come right out on their website, and they try to obscure it in words. But we were looking at it the other day. 94% of all the COVID reported deaths were not from COVID at all, and the 6% that are all mostly nursing home, elderly. There's virtually not one reported death of COVID under 50 years old.
Wow.
You know, so this whole thing about COVID the Democrats pulled the plug too soon. If they would have come out with it, surprised everybody in June, I'll be in mid lockdown right now, and then they could have put mail balloting out, and it wouldn't have been that. But because there's so much traffic out everywhere, they've reopened all this shit. Hey,
Hello, Casey.
it's apparent.
Bell for Casey.
It's apparent to me that that's what they wanted to do was use it as a cover for the mail-in balloting fraud.
Oh
You
yeah,
know?
yeah.
Man, you
Because then
sound like a
couldn't have
conspiracy
everybody at the
theorist,
polls.
bro. I'm just kidding.
You know what I say to people that say conspiracy theorist? Central Intelligence Agency.
Yeah.
And the 16 other intelligence agencies we have. Like the one wasn't good enough. We need a whole pantheon of intelligence agencies because
CIA,
and
CIA's job was
what
to
do they
that.
do?
Yeah.
Pardon me?
Yeah.
CIA's job
I mean,
was
that's
to
what
do
they
that.
do, right?
That's their whole purpose.
Not only do they do that, but they're the best at it in the world. That's what we pay for.
They're not supposed to do it against our people, though, but that they neglected. They're actually supposed to do it against other countries. They're supposed to gather intelligence, but obviously it's too exciting to hold it in. You need to.
I don't know if that was in the original charter.
Huh?
I don't know if that was in the original charter that there was the rule for, oh, by the way, you're allowed to have just completely beyond top secret spying abilities with all the latest toys and technologies, but you have these restrictions. Like, I don't think anybody spelled that out to them.
I'm interested in the
Yeah.
theory you were just talking about, though. What was about the voting and all that? I just came in
Well,
late.
A
So I'm
theory is that conspiracies are a theory, if you like them. Any conspiracy.
Sure, yes,
But
yes.
conspiracy is like, for instance, one nation wants to invade another one, which if we look through history has happened since before history. That's what we
Looks
do.
like you got the fuck
That's how
out of
this
here.
country
Ooh.
was founded.
You know?
We were a rebellious fact, destroyed commodities from England and waged war on the home country until we broke away. They saw us too much trouble and let us have independence because we kicked their ass on our own home ground. But we also, the Indians, brought them over to these. There's nothing really honest from the very beginnings of even the most whitewashed history about. They could try and sell it that way, but we're kind of a shady country,
Yeah, that's true.
right?
Yeah, a lot of cool.
Hey, have we ever done a benevolent
lot of
thing
cool
for
doodads,
everybody?
though. We got a lot of cool doodads, and we had a lot of fun and stuff.
We do.
We were very rich. We got a lot of cool tools. You know what I mean? And a
Beautiful
lot of
women.
women, beautiful women. Yes, all kinds of stuff. It's been fun. It's been a fun ride.
I
What do you
got
guys?
no problem.
What have you guys been talking about so far? I
Oh,
wanna
you're
know.
talking about like it's over. Tell us about that. That's kind of what we've been talking about. I spent my birthday on Tuesday, which was election day.
Oh.
I spent it in Mexico.
You were in Mexico? Are you looking for a new place to live?
We were
Getting the fuck out of here.
looking for a
Getting
dentist
out of here.
and found a
Huh?
dentist. We went to a dentist in Mexico.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, I heard you get a real good deal. A lot better deal, right? A lot better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. And
It turns out she went to the Marathon Man Dental Clinic.
What?
What's that?
She went to the Marathon Man Dental Clinic. Where are the papers?
Oh my god. No wonder you look so refreshed.
That's how you really torture people. It's just drill their teeth without anesthetic. That will, you
Yeah,
come up
that'll
off
be-
some secrets there.
Yeah, that's life affirming. Very life affirming.
So,
They picked a
Casey,
president?
what's going on in Seattle? Tell us about that. Like, is it crazy there? Is it crazier or not as crazy since the election, the selection? And it was great to be away from all of that stuff on Tuesday. It was totally awesome.
Why do you call
Yeah.
Oh, you're all away from it. Yeah, it's funny how they have.
You're our Zoom reporter in the field.
It's funny. No, nothing up here is crazy. Everything's normal here. There's nothing going on. I mean, a little bit more boarding up. I saw downtown. I saw some boarding up, but I didn't see any violence going on. I was all over
Around the
driving
polling places?
Oh no, nothing. I didn't see nothing. Everything was good. Everything was all right. There wasn't even long lines. I also though I couldn't figure out like I don't know what the fuck is going on with all the lawsuits with the voting and everything. Why does everybody have to fucking vote at the last second anyways? Like what is the fucking, you know what I mean? What is the obsession with procrastination? Like why not have all the votes? I mean, how hard is it to have all the votes in on October 20th and then take 13 days to count the votes and announce the result on the 3rd, you know, like, or how long does it take to count votes? Is it take 7 months to have the election on July 1st? I just want to give people the full amount of time they need to do the counting so that I don't have to be involved in it. Like, isn't it like a national jerking off? Like they're just jerking I have a friend who's like, I'm going crazy because of the anxiety over the election. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm like, it's unnecessary. It's not, it's news is a result. That's the news. The news is the result of the election.
You gotta admit,
Yeah.
you gotta admit, when they're boarding off the count rooms so that legally, I don't know what the word was, observers, it's legal to have observers. They have a legal right to. And now they're preventing them from having a right to observe. And they're coming up with statistically impossible vote counts. Like they get these chunks of not a car trunk full of votes, but 100,000 at a time. And every one of them is for Biden.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yes.
Now, they're the Dems. The Dems' way of dealing with it is what they do, how they cheat, fraud, lie, steal. The way they deal with repercussions is they do it, and then they go, hey, that person did that thing. They just immediately try to deflect and fade heat. But it looks like the fraud tactics that they're using seem to hold the American public in contempt as if we're all fucking stupid. If you wanted to fly in a greater amount of votes for Biden than Trump, and you dropped in 100,000 mail-in ballots, shouldn't you include a few dummy decoy votes for Trump?
Yes.
That it didn't look so fucking obvious, because that's like a stupid person trying to make an intelligent person stupid, but it just makes them look stupider. That's all.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Sure. Well,
Yeah.
we're all stupid.
And Trump's got a rock solid case. You know, they're falling. But I read something by a friend of mine down here that says that all the actual official ballots have a hidden watermark in them that the National Guard is going down and being deployed in 12 states, and they're using their lights to check the watermarks.
Wow.
And that this was all known about. So I don't know if there's any truth to that or not, but it does sound quasi-logical.
Wow.
Yeah.
There are some precincts that had 100% Biden votes, and as you say, supposedly, and as you say, that doesn't even make any sense. And there's something going on in Arizona. What did you say?
Huh?
What did you say?
Oh, I said, what the fuck do you want? Every time I park here, some police always come. They always want to like bother me. So I yell at them. I go, what the fuck? I'm fucking parked here. It's a fucking parking lot. Go fuck yourself. I'm gonna get killed by the police.
This is the special Sunday school
Fuck
edition
off.
of Social Media Cons.
I'm like, yeah, I'm breaking the law by sitting here having a cigarette. Fuck you.
Audience,
Fuck you. I might as well
Yeah.
be black at this point.
public watching public. This is not Casey chewing audience out.
I was telling
These-
man, I was telling my friends who are black, you know, I was like, I have several friends who are black. I don't like to brag, but
More than
anyway,
one?
I have a lot of black friends, and I'm always telling you, I'm always going, I guarantee you, several of them at least, I go, I guarantee you I've had more incidents with the cops than you. I've just, for something about me, it's like I'm a fucking, I just look like I'm bad or something. It's like,
Oh no, Casey probably has.
I've been thrown in the back of cop cars, all kinds of shit. It's not pleasant.
Wow.
Oh, well, anyway, whatever. I haven't been to jail.
We got a party, Casey. You're my kind of guy.
Yeah, definitely, man. Fuck it. Exactly. Who else is
Then we
here?
can
I
be
hear some
bummed.
other people. You're fucking, I'm on the moon now, man. That's fucking good. You got out of here.
Oh, come on. There's water on those continents. Just the moon. This is
I
the
wanna
new
go to the-
Earth.
I want to go to the fucking moon. I can't tell anymore with politics whether or not it's all a big act or if it's real. I've crossed the line into paranoia. I can't tell anything anymore if it's all because remember now people predicted this is the result that's going to happen. Don't you remember
Yes.
months ago that it's going to be litigated, and people said this was going to happen months ago. I've heard it, and now it's happening exactly like people said it was going to happen.
Yes. And
Yeah.
that's
Well, not just people.
I put a Ron Paul show up.
I
And
saw that. I want to watch that. I saw
Yeah.
the headline. I was like, "Ooh, I got to hear what he has to say about it."
yes. Yes.
What did he have? What did he?
At the end of it, Daniel McAdams says that there was, yes, it is a fascinating show, but near the end, Daniel McAdams talks about how there were these never Trumper people that got together last summer, and they did these different election scenarios, and one of them follows exactly what's happening in Arizona and Michigan. It's like it's the same thing talked about in that document, and it makes you wonder how that's exactly following what was said in that document from last summer.
Oh, interesting.
Why does that make
not-
you wonder?
What's that?
Why does
What?
that make you wonder?
Oh, because it's happening.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, maybe we should just.
I mean, it's not
well,
coincidence.
The whole thing is scripted anyway. It seems to be scripted.
I mean, but half of it seems to be scripted, and other half seems to be totally very, very unorganized. You know what I mean? So it's hard for me to tell. I honestly can't tell. So if you know that it's scripted, that's good, because I can't tell if it's scripted or not. You know what's funny? At 2:30 a.m. on the election night, when Trump got up and did his when he did his speech that everyone was upset with, because I saw it live. I was up and I was watching a 4-way roundtable on the Daily Wire with Ben Shapiro, Dennis Prager, the guy who runs PragerU, and a couple other guys I can't remember when he did his speech, they went back to these are really conservative guys. They were like, Ben Shapiro especially was like, that was really not good. Like, that was really bad. You know what I mean? Yeah, he was like,
what he said. I didn't hear it. Tell us what he said. Just a
well, essentially he said, as far as I'm concerned, I was already won the election, and I'm going to file lawsuits, and I'm taking this to the Supreme Court. And everyone thought, and so he just, but I love the boldness. And one guy said what's interesting was that it reminds me of some people I know, like me specifically, is when they try to tell you when a whole group of people try to gang up on you. Say, like, if you're in a classroom, right, and like all 29 people all start talking behind your back and saying you're bad, and then what you do is you don't try to win them over. What you do is you try to tell all of them they're full of shit. You know what I mean? So this is what they're talking. Ben, instead of playing like a tactful game, Donald Trump has been like a one-man narrative, like a one-man. Everyone has a narrative against him, and then he has to combat the narrative with his own thing every time he talks. So it's really egotistical, but it's hard to not find him heroic in some way. But almost what it is, it's like almost like too good to be true. Like it seems like it almost seems fake. You know what I mean? Like it almost seems like he's a fake hero. You know what I mean?
Yes.
But in a way, I buy into it because I actually go. Because you know what it does? It appeals to people who, I don't like people who gang up on people. I don't like it when people all gang up on a person and they control, you know, like all the late night talk shows, they control all the social media, you know what I mean? They control all that. And so naturally I'm going to like that person, you know what I mean? Just on principle. Like if there's 10 people talking about somebody in school, if there's a bunch of people ganging up on somebody, I would always be the one who would be like, you're never going to get me to gang up on another person. I'll just be on their side. You know what I mean? So I would just join in on their side. So, but then again, I don't know if that's real or not. I don't know if that's like the big trick. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like if that's the big game that's being played. I kind of think it is. I kind of think that's kind of like the game that's being played, because you know what you know what I honestly maybe think it's possible. This is something I would present as a scenario. I wonder if because all I care about is the people, right? You know what I mean? Like us, all I care about is all the citizens. So for the citizens, I wonder if it's not somehow better for Biden to win as long as the Republicans control the Senate, because Biden's a terrible person. I disagree. Besides him as a person, I don't like none of his potential policies. I don't like bigger government and all of the. I don't like healthcare for all. I don't like any of that stuff. I think it's all dangerous, big government stuff. But I do think now they can't blame it on Trump, is what I'm saying. So when these policies destroy the country, Trump finally will be out of the, you know what I mean? We'll have to move on to a new game. They can't just continue with the same game. And so that what it will cause is already on the voting today already showed, because they said it was going to Democrat was going to sweep over the nation and take over everything, right? And obviously that already didn't happen. It's already 50-50, you know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
you know what I mean? It didn't happen like they thought. Again, their polls were off. Their polls were way off. You know what I mean? Because I told people, I go, a lot of people aren't going to say they're going to vote for Trump or Republicans because they're not allowed to say it. But I'm thinking maybe now we'll make it more of an open conversation. Oh, that's obviously what's going to happen. We have to open up the national conversation and get it more balanced again somehow. But I don't know.
I think the controversy and animosity of the election and the allegations of fraud, ballot fraud, and voter abuse. I think that in the process of getting at the real vote, we're going to come closer to the truth than we would have if it had been sort of an amiable election. But I mean, for instance, well, Biden, he wants to make a national law that everybody wears masks. Now, when you're here in California,
Yeah.
not only do we have fuckhead Newsom as governor, and he is crazy, this Gumby-headed piece of shit, megalomaniac wannabe motherfucker. Then we got Eric Garcetti, who's the son of ex-district attorney who is renowned in Los Angeles County as being a psychotic, three-striking fucking asshole.
Oh,
And
I didn't know that.
the LA City Council just approved ordinance that said an emergency urgency ordinance because of the pandemic, that now businesses can, if they want, require people to wear masks going in. Now, not only can Newsom not make that fucking law, neither can Garcetti nor the city council, but these delusional groups of Democrats, which all of them are, they've ruined the state, ruined the city. And I got to look at it as, if I have to choose between one piece of shit or another, go with the devil I know. He's wearing masks. He's called this thing a hoax. This COVID is all the reason that they pulled it and too early was to get everybody scared and locked down about being proximity of each other. That way they didn't have to go to the polling places. they could institute this mail-in balloting. But
Yeah.
before it got to the election, everybody's already getting tired of the pandemic scare. People are almost all reading whether or not, and they can't really convince it's against everybody's good health to be near each other. Especially when if you do what Newsom pulled with recently with holiday guidelines of how we
Yeah.
should have only 3 households and single serving, and no singing, and put your mask on between bites of food.
Are they trying to? Are they? Are they?
Patricia and I
Are they? Are they trying to incite a riot? Because if you know there's going to be, if you've heard for a month now there's going to be potential for violence if the result, like if Trump wins, you've heard they're going to riot, and then they had all the police out. So if you know there's going to be potential for violence, why are you updating the voting and everything minute to minute and going through all this? This is like agitating the nation. You know what I mean? It feels like
because the
intentional.
mainstream media is part of that crew.
Yeah. Well, they got a lot of weaponry
They're
and
trying
shit.
to incite riot.
Well, maybe we should give them what they want. You know what I mean? I don't know. I mean, I'm trying to figure out what the, you know what I mean? I mean, if that's what they want, you know?
What do you know here, Case? You
Huh?
what are you trying to find out? Whether it's okay to go ahead and destroy some shit? I'm
No,
down.
I don't want to destroy some shit, but I want to say like, it's a real easy step. You're like, nah, man, we're not doing this. I mean, there's going to be people, we're not going to do this, man. It's simple. It's really hard. It's real simple. It seems like to me, but it's real also difficult where you just say like, no, and then you're going to get jailed or whatever they're going to try to do. But if they want to have, you could have a movement. It doesn't have to be about just burning shit. Because Inslee got elected. Our mayor is just as disgusting. That's the main reason why I wanted to vote. And then his little victory speech, he said, this is a victory for the science. They're always fucking the science. Like, it's always the science. I mean, look, dude, we already know the science. We're already looking at the science. Most people aren't even paying attention to the science. There's all kinds of different debate. They tried to say that about Sweden. Now Sweden's not having the kind of things. They didn't have the results that people were saying they were going to have with all the deaths happen and everything. They didn't have it. Sweden didn't have those problems. And so,
Was Inslee up for re-election?
Yeah, he was faced by this guy. The guy facing him wasn't that great candidate, but everybody was going to vote for him anyways, just because he was a anti-COVID guy. He was just a regular cop in a small town, but at least he was a law and order guy, and he's done such a terrible job. We've had expanded a huge amount, like in California, the same thing, bigger and bigger and bigger. The most taxing governor of all time. He had there's 7 different ballot measures for increased spending on the ballot. So I just was like, any spending, no more to your spending, no vote, no to your fucking spending. Get it? No more spending on anything. You can't manage money. You can't spend money. It's going to your go give a homeless guy fucking money. Save up you can't even save up your money from the taxes they jack out of your that they take out of your taxes. You can't opt out of the sales tax. You know what I mean? But you should take that money and you should just go hand it to some person, because they'd be better off spending the money on on actual things or their actual life than putting it into this sick government. It's a sick government. He said the number 1 and number 2 issues. This is what this guy said. Number 1 is COVID response. That's the number 1. The number 2 issue is climate change. I think COVID response, not at all important. Yeah. I think everybody should dump the masks in a big fucking pile. I'm starting to think it's all made up, like 100% made up. I'm starting to think that I know the air is clean. I can smell the air. I know it's clean. I know it. I just know it in my heart now. I know now that it's already, the evidence is in. Dude, we don't know nobody who got sick. Nobody knows nobody who got sick.
That's right.
It's all a fake bullshit. It's a dangerous game, I think, right? Isn't it? It's a dangerous thing they're doing, isn't it?
It's
Is
easy.
it? Are they?
But why did it do it? Why did it happen?
Why did it happen? Because of, I don't know, man. What is their plan? Why the
Because this way,
Tell
if
me
they would
why.
have kept everybody in quarantine, you wouldn't be able to go to a polling place to vote.
Mhm.
But it dissolved quick.
so they could go vote? Oh, right, yeah, of course. Yeah, they always switch it and mold it into some new thing. It's interesting.
Yeah.
I also think it's funny in Washington State because every ballot, there's no polling places here. Everything's mail ballot in Washington. The excuse of like,
Wow.
oh, it's, yeah, so all we ever do is we get our ballot in the mail and we go drop it off in a mailbox. But there's nobody who can't go drop off their ballot in a mailbox. So
Yeah.
they
Yeah, but
said
this is the first
also
presidential election that
remember
they've had that.
what's that?
Isn't this the first presidential election that's ever happened anywhere?
In the majority of the country, but not here. And not
How long
not in,
has it been going on there?
you can have different kind of things. You can have ones where you're allowed to go drop off your ballot at an office if you apply for like special reasons, and you can also do absentee ballot, but everybody just gets their ballot in the mail for every election. It comes in the
Wow.
mailbox,
Did not
and
know
then
that.
you look at
For how
you
long?
look at
Well, yeah.
it's been happening. I've never been to a polling place. It's always been like that here. And you take it in and you take it into your living room and you
Really?
fill it out, and then I seal it up. You can either mail it back, but I just take mine physically and go drop it in there's special voter boxes that you fill out. They did have some armed security around the voting boxes on that was the only difference. They had security around it, but nobody was doing nothing. I live out in the suburbs.
When was the last Republican governor you had?
Oh shit, I have fucking no idea. I don't remember there ever being one. This has always been blue. It's all as far as I can remember.
Yeah, imagine that.
I'll have to look, man. I don't
Had that mail-in, and you never had a Republican governor, probably mayor.
Well,
It's
that's why
amazing how
Yeah. I had to unlearn all that.
the
I grew up.
coincidence.
Yeah, it's not a coincidence. So. They're big believers in the blue, man.
You know
There's
what I'm
a lot of
saying?
a lot of states are like that. A lot of states have. There's states that are never blue, and there's states that are never red. I guess Arizona.
Well,
I thought it was an interesting angle that on the thing I was listening to that Trump had his feud with John McCain, and then the McCain family dedicated their lives to making Arizona become a blue state just out of spite because of that personal feud. So it'd be interesting.
About that.
It would be an interesting thing if Arizona, I don't know what the current result is, if that has been officially a blue Biden state, but it sounded like that's where it was headed.
Yeah.
no.
It shows
Arizona's always been and always will be Republican.
Yeah, it always was, but I'm not sure now if it is.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on.
I don't know.
And Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania. According to the LA Times, I'm looking at their webpage. It looks like Biden is the leader in Arizona, which is surprising. But I'm going to also read the headline from the LA Times. And then you can comment on that. Biden urges calm. Trump falsely claims election stolen as Democrat moves closer to victory. And it says Biden may clinch the presidency with just one more state, and Democrats are confident he'll get there once tallies end in Nevada, Pennsylvania, or Georgia. So that's what the LA Times is saying, and that's the headline.
Oh, well, they got a lot of nerve to put falsely, like they ain't no judge. They should not even call themselves journalists anymore when they I seen that already in a different article on a different state. I saw that same thing where they go, oh, it's falsely. And I'm like, oh, well, maybe it's falsely. Maybe it isn't. Maybe actually I was talking to a friend. I go, unless you tell me what the actual thing is he alleges in the actual court case. If you don't even know, if you're not even bothered, that you can just, if you can just control what you put out, and you don't have to let people decide for themselves. That's the one thing now with Trump. You don't have to let people decide for themselves. You just put out like a factual statement like that. That's the same. They're just doing the same thing. They're just doing the same thing. They say everything they say that Trump does, they always do it. In
Oh,
fact,
the
just that
Democrats?
everything they say they do. Every allegation that they say, if I find that they do that allegation.
Yeah, that's true. That's very interesting. Yeah. Yeah. I'm not sure what's happening with that. But yeah, Arizona is a real, I mean, that's kind of weird that Biden is winning supposedly in Arizona, but that's where they've had one of the controversies too about the votes is in Arizona. And Michigan, I think there's something going on that's kind of funky in Michigan too.
Oh, he filed some kind of suit, I think, a lawsuit there too.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well,
Trump, man,
oh, go ahead.
Trump will not step aside, man. One thing they say that they hate, it was one thing I heard is that someone, I forget today, said that Trump, no matter what, has no honor. He has no honor. Like they said, no matter what, Trump has no honor. And I go, actually, it's kind of honorable not to quit.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like from where I come from, honor is like that you, no matter what, don't quit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's hard to say. Like it's easy to say, like, okay, so he should just what's he supposed to do? Concede or some shit? And I think he's like, I don't know. He'll I don't know what, he won't quit. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. Yeah. That's admirable. But a lot of people probably don't like that because a lot of people believe these results. And it seems like there's just a lot of stuff I'm skeptical of with these results. And the Electoral College is the one that's supposed to choose the president anyway. It's not even supposed to be by popular vote, right?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
And a lot of people want to get rid of the Electoral College.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, I don't know. How do you guys feel about it? I don't know. I've heard I used to think that, but I don't know that I do. I feel like every state's supposed to be represented, and that's the way that every state is represented. It's a way to, that you can't just condense all the people in all the cities and then the cities decide what's good for everybody else out in the country, so it's a way of everybody being represented more broadly.
Yeah.
But they're not honest about it. They're only wanting what's best for their own party. Everybody's too party oriented to step back and just look at what's actually,
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm not a political expert, so it's hard to say.
But the Electoral College does help the smaller states or the states that are not as that are less densely populated than like California and New York. That's what I think it's meant to do, to help.
Here's my question.
Yeah.
Is anybody alleging that Republicans are committing voter fraud?
Oh, shit.
Oh, huh.
I heard, I actually saw something really interesting. A friend of mine, he posted an article and he said, he said something about, and then the voter fraud in 2016. And then I said, hold up now. If there were allegations of Trump doing voter fraud in 2016, not only would I have heard about it, I would have heard about it already like 1 million times, because anything about Trump is always reported 1 million times more than anything about Democrats, because they control
the collusion.
No, they said that they said voter fraud in the election. And then my friend sent me links. And then of course I go, I don't really want to read your bullshit links, because if someone's a political, on the left politically, I'm not going to read their links because it's going to be some stupid shit. But I clicked on one and it was supposedly about discouraging black voters from voting by having less polling places. And again, it revolved around last second voting and making it inconvenient for voters. And I'm like, what is the fucking obsession with voting at the last second anyways? Like, you know what I mean? Like, what they're actually saying, it's unfair. Republicans are cheating. You know what they should do is they should provide free rides, like limousine rides. I think they should provide limousine rides and like an assistant, a personal assistant to each voter to like drive them to the polling place and to like give them a dinner and like a back rub and like, you know what I mean? Like that's literally what it is. Like they, you know, you got, oh, is it okay? Is this a good place to vote? I mean, is 2 blocks from your house? Is that too far? You know, like, you know what I mean? Like, oh, do you need another week? Do you need another week? Like literally that's what they'll say. Like, no matter what, how you extend it, they'll say it's a discriminatory. And I'm like, I'm not trying to be like,
Yeah, that's true.
like, I don't see like, you know, I don't see the value in people that have to vote at the last second. Like, why is that important? You know what I mean?
Well, I
about
mean,
you,
there
Paul?
used to be election day, and that's when you
Yes.
would go to the
Yeah,
poll
election day.
and at the end of election day, if your vote won, you didn't get it in.
Yeah, that's right.
Can I ask you a question, Patricia?
Yes.
Yes.
I mean, there's other candidates on the ballot besides Trump, Biden. So I'm not going to ask who you voted for, but I take it that you would not have voted for Biden, right?
I wouldn't have voted for Biden. I didn't get to vote, you know.
Oh
but
yeah,
you
what
weren't
happened
gonna
with
vote for
that?
Biden, were you?
I wasn't going to vote for Biden. No, it's like voting for an Alzheimer's patient. Bless his heart.
I didn't know that.
Biden is all about the masks. Remember that.
Yes, he is. He is.
And why did you not get to vote?
Because I wasn't wearing a mask. I could not go into the poll.
It's really coincidental.
They didn't let you go in?
Yes. No, they didn't let us go in. And my son
Holy
wanted to do
shit.
that too. Yeah. Now
So
my,
you tried to go in. You tried to go in without a mask? That's awesome.
yeah, on Monday night.
With your
we
family?
both did. Well, just with yeah, all my kids were there, but it was just my oldest, he's 19, so he could vote, and me, we were the only ones trying to get in. Yeah, and they wouldn't let us in.
Now, mind you,
Whoa.
it is a constitutional right
Yeah,
to
man.
vote in America if you're a citizen.
Yeah.
But there is no fucking law that you have to wear a mask. So who would fit by discriminating against non-mask wearing people?
Mhm.
Only the fucking communist goddamn Democrats. Excuse my French about God. You know what I mean? The
That's right.
fraud element is so obvious. How many people across America do you think were just like you?
Yeah.
That's a good question. That's interesting.
Yeah.
I
it
didn't-
is.
You know, what's funny, man, is I went into I've been going into Chinese food restaurants without a mask. You know, all kinds of places you can go eat. You can go eat in a restaurant without a mask. So
Yes.
what the fuck, man?
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can go to eat in a restaurant without a mask. So what the fuck are they trying to? You should actually you should sue if you have any recourse.
And
You
and
really actually you should.
what
You
we
should
did.
find other. What?
What we did, and Brian, you'll know where I'm talking about, but we went to Tree People, you know, up there, that park on Mulholland, and that they were
Yeah.
voting. And I thought, well, that would be really cool because you can't go there normally because they've closed all that stuff. So we go to Tree People, and they told my son that they were going to you know, that we couldn't go in, but that they would bring out a ballot and let him fill it out, and then something about taking it in and bringing it back out to check it. It sounded complicated, but I think he was going to do it. And then guess what? They told him they didn't have any ballots left. And so then we went across the road, really, but down to Franklin Canyon, where they were also had a voter place. Now at Franklin Canyon, that place is really kind of out in the woods, and I mean, really in LA. And so, and not many people were going. When we got there right before they closed Monday night. There were 0 voters there, no voters. And still, they would not let us go in, even though there were no voters. All of those people had on a mask. They would not let us go in. And they offered us the same deal. And they did have a write-in ballot there. But my 17-year-old who couldn't vote, he can't vote. Yeah, but although they had a measure about letting 17-year-olds vote on there, that was one of the propositions. But anyway, when we were trying to get in, my older one and I, then the 17-year-old, there was somebody that came out, and he was he had some kind of an accent, so he might have lived like in a communist country or something. But he said he noticed that they have a QR code on the ballots in LA. And so he was talking to them about it, and he actually found out that, they can track whom you voted for by this QR code that they have on the ballots. So they've done this thing where now, we used to go to a certain place to vote, but this year we could just go anywhere. It didn't have to be our precinct. But the thing is, you have a QR code on the ballot that says that that's your ballot. And then of course they record whom you vote for. So this guy that was talking to my son was like, he found that out, and he was like, that means the government knows who you voted for. And he refused to vote. And I thought that's really cool. And it made me very skeptical because of this QR code that they said it was a new thing. And I recorded, I haven't put it up anywhere yet, but I recorded the poll worker, who told us about that. And I said, about that we couldn't go in, and I recorded her and what she said and everything. And she was not at all ashamed. She said, you have to comply to vote. That's what she said, you have to comply. That was her words, or some, like, we can't let you in.
And that's not true.
Yeah, it's not true.
Yeah.
I mean, it's true that it happened, obviously. It's just not true that you have to comply to some regional little fucking dictate, because they don't have the power or the right to refuse somebody their right to vote. They are merely public servants at best.
Yes, that's right.
When does the janitor have the power to tell the household what to do?
Yeah.
Also, they want to expand the amount of people that vote. You know what I mean? Which like a friend of mine, like adding 17-year-olds, adding 16-year-olds.
Yes, right.
But it sounds good, but it isn't good.
Yeah.
Even if, and it might be good, and it doesn't mean it's not good in your kid's case. Like, it's good in your kids are going to be informed voters. But what they want to do, because they have you as their mom. But I'm talking about the reason why they're doing it doesn't have nothing to do with democracy. The reason why they're doing it is they want to add more voters who are compliant, like Brian is saying. So they want to add, they want to add more people who are compliant. See, so that's what it is. So already, if you don't want to wear a mask, they already are going, oh, well, I already know you're not on board. See, that's how they tell that you're compliant. They if you're compliant, they'll let dogs vote. Honestly, Democrats would actually let dogs vote. That's my thing. I was telling
I would bet that the dead people that voted in Pennsylvania weren't wearing a mask.
What is that, dude? I heard that there's some dead people. They didn't maybe vote, but they got ballots. You know what? I don't know, man, about that one, because someone said that if someone died 3 months ago, I go, they can't know everybody that died. So I guess I understand that they send out ballots. There
was one that was 170 years old. By the time you're dying in the 1800s, I'm pretty sure they could have updated the census rolls. You know what I mean? You don't really even need to have a statistic or a recording. If you're born in 1840, I'm pretty sure you're not voting in 2020. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, like, he's taking 100-year break from voting. I don't know.
Like, where have you been? And get for responses, bones clacking.
Man, what's gonna happen? I hope I not, but I hope we don't all end up in separate militias having to fight against this shit. I hope we can stay civilized and 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 vote. But
It's
I don't know.
pretty uncivilized.
Yeah, it's pretty uncivilized. Is there more violence
I
going
mean-
on and shit yet? I don't know. I guess I don't know. You know, another thing that's funny is the idea that the people should be like so upset enough to riot if Trump wins. And I'm like, why should you be upset? He's a mainstream candidate.
Oh,
It's been two.
Well, he's an incumbent
It's
president.
2 years now that you can't accept. You know what I mean? The people can't accept that like half the country or more likes the guy. You know, you know what I mean? Like I go, people like my friend was like, man, they're gonna riot and they're gonna. I go ahead. I go, just fucking do what you got to do.
yeah,
You know,
yeah, right.
I'm like go cry,
But
go
you don't
cry,
hear the right saying,
go.
you don't hear
Yeah,
the right saying that.
no, they don't. The right doesn't burn shit, and the right doesn't do any of that. My friend lives down in Colorado, and she was saying she didn't like it that the right wing people were having little rallies because they don't have any violence down there. They don't have any Antifa or anything. They go, what are you talking about? They don't do nothing but drive their trucks down the street and say that they want to have the Constitution be enforced and have like the Second Amendment enforced.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? I don't see them doing anything like that.
yeah,
Whatever.
yeah.
Anyway.
Crazy. It's crazy. What do y'all we're gonna wrap up, but tell me what you think's gonna happen with this race. So he has to get 270 electoral votes, right?
Yeah, 270.
Yeah.
Shit,
Nobody-
fuck if I know.
What?
I don't have no fucking idea. I don't have any
Well,
idea.
Here's what I
What do you
think. There's already been, there's so many cases of legitimate voter fraud that as far as those allegations, Trump's team has a rock solid case. So when you have popular voter fraud, then you could easily make the jump to electoral voter fraud. There's Trump ain't giving up the White House. He's just not gonna. The
No.
guy's sitting in it. He's commander in chief. He's gonna use whatever. And to tell you the truth, even though I hate the guy myself, still the enemy of my enemy is at least my ally. You know, and I see him as like the last stronghold against a socialist nation. For us
Yeah.
to think that we are impervious to a regime change is insane. Things move at an ever faster pace. All empires fall, and we're the next one. But I would rather see the whole fucking house burned than just my room and leave the assholes over in the other room alive. Fuck, they don't get to have the place. You know what I mean? I'll destroy it before I let some other piece of shit have it.
I
Trump
like,
is a greedy, arrogant, vain, self-centered dude that refuses to take a loss like this. Like if he was getting beat legally and honestly, I think he'd take it. But to lose to a cheat, he's not going to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
And it's going to
there's
be a
also
little bit
gonna
of a
be-
struggle. But 6 months from
Yeah.
now, be in the same.
there's going to be recounts too, because if there's voting that comes within a half percentage point, some of these states, then they can legally request recount. So then they got to count all the ballots again. So I'm pretty sure that you're going to see that happen, and that's where I really worry about the violent situation, because when you have it drag out into like December, and then some people who don't get the result they want, they can use it as a reason to get all upset about it.
Yeah.
So, but
I could be wrong. See Biden getting the inauguration.
yeah, it could happen, and then life goes on. You still got to live life, and you still got to. Then it means you just got to somehow fight against it even more. So that's just what life is like now.
Do you know why the masks?
The what?
Because it's a political event of compliance and subservient to the state.
Yeah.
You have no voice. You're
You
not
have no
allowed
smile.
to bond with your other citizens, and you
Yeah.
have no voice.
Yeah, definitely, man.
Yeah, that's for sure. Wow, and that's frightening, and everybody's just going along with it too, which is sad.
Hey, but happy birthday.
Thank
Yeah, I
you.
missed your birthday. Happy birthday.
Thank
It ain't all lost yet. We still got a lot of positives in this country. We got a lot of stuff still going on. We're not living in like Uganda or something, you know, so we still got opportunities here. You know, we still got news. We still got, you know, there's still a fight going on, so it's not all
Yeah.
that
I'll
bad.
still be an asshole.
Yeah, me too, man. Nothing's gonna change.
I know. I didn't
Yeah,
want to say that though, because I like you.
Happy birthday. That's awesome. I hope you had a good birthday.
Thank you. I did.
Yeah.
And it's
Don't-
time to sing now. We don't have to sing happy birthday, although we could.
Happy birthday to you.
Yay to you.
I like that version, Casey.
The Stevie Wonder version?
Yeah.
That is. Yeah. I love Stevie Wonder. I love Stevie Wonder.
Yeah. Yeah.
Great. I've seen him in concert a lot of times. He's a cool dude.
Wow.
All right. It was good to see you. Yeah, I've seen him in concert. One time I saw Stevie Wonder in concert here in Auburn at this amphitheater, and there was like 6,000 people in the crowd, and he started playing a little bit of the song, and he goes, "Hey, do you guys know what this song is?" And then he started the song. It was like dun dun, and then I yelled out, "My Sharia Moore," and I was like the only person out of like 6,000. I thought it would be like a whole bunch of people yelling out, and I yelled out, and I was like, you could just hear my one voice, and then he was like, "Yes, it is. That's right," and I was like, "Oh shit, I just talked to Stevie Wonder for like a second."
Cool.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. It's good to see you guys.
Yeah.
That's a great
it's
song,
good to see
too.
you too.
Yeah, man. Stay healthy and stay sane. Don't let this drive you crazy as much as possible.
Yeah.
I'll try to do the same. All right. I'll talk to you guys again soon. All right.
Yeah, soon. Maybe Saturday night. We'll see
Okey-dokey.
if we can do it. What, Brian?
What's that?
I said, okie dokie.
Yeah.
All
Hey,
right.
Casey,
Do you
why
want
Yeah,
don't you
bro.
take over the singing tonight?
to? Okay. Whoever wants to do it.
Casey, do a song.
Oh shit. I don't know what song to
You
do.
do My
I don't know.
Sharia Moore.
I can't. Oh, my Sharia Moore, pretty little girl that I adore. Social media cons is the only show that I sing for. I know that you are mine. Dun, dun, dun,
That's pretty good, actually.
dun,
A
dun.
lot better than yours.
That's beautiful. I love it.
The other
you.
floating head in space said you're
Oh
better
shit!
than
I got
me.
my PA and my sound system in the back. Next time I'll bring it out and sing it. Sing it
Yeah.
louder.
That's beautiful.
I brought it to a construction site I was on tonight, and I had it out. I was singing songs while the people I brought were working and shit.
Oh wow.
I was like, I'm paying you guys, so I'll just fucking take a break and sing.
That's
All
Okay.
right. I'll talk to you guys later. Have a good
Thank
night.
you, Casey Judson. Yes.
All right.
Good night.
Thanks very
too.
much.
Thank you, Brian Ross. We love
It was
you
fun.
all
All right.
Thank you.
All right.
here.
Thank you,
Love you, Patricia.
Bye.